Everyone around the Kiss Nation, raise your glasses. And get ready for one of the most wild and crazy episodes of the Kiss Army Things podcast. Of course, I'm Xander, and we're going to be talking about the new Raise Your Glasses book, but I am not alone. So you see I have three guests joining me here, one of which has been here for the third time now, Joey Cassata. How are you tonight, my man?
Woo, Xander, I don't know if we can fix this before we get started. Any way to get me? I want me in the top corner. I don't like Tom and Zeus need to be together or they get lonely.
Is there a way to actually do that?
I'm kidding. Get out of here.
Because I'm not really good at using the StreamYard stuff. We always film with a regular camera. So when it comes to the virtual stuff, I'm always kind of like, oh, what am I doing here? But anyway, yeah. So Joey, how's it been live treating you, man? You been doing good?
Yeah, all good. Obviously, crazy stuff with the book. You know, we've been doing a lot of promo for the book. We've been, struggling to finish this to make sure we really had it. We had a little bit of a deadline, kind of a loose deadline, but we had a deadline that we were working towards. So, we hustled this summer to make sure we got it done.
Right on.
Unlike some other Kiss books that we won't mention.
Right, for sure. Fortunately for those folks, yeah, you'll still be waiting. But anyway, we have the incredible new Raise Your Glasses. And now, who are these two that you brought with us? Is this Tom and Zeus from the Shout It Out Loud cast? Where did you find these guys at?
If this is a video, if this is a video show, Xander, I apologize to the audience at home. You know them as Tom and Zeus, the lovable idiots from Shout It Out Loudcast.
Here we go.
Obviously, you know their voices, their Boston accents very, very clearly. But now, you know their handsome faces.
Yeah, and
absolutely,
it's all about just being beautiful like you, Joey. That's all it is. But Xander, anyways, thank you so much for having us. This is awesome. Can't wait to talk Kiss and obviously talk about our book, Raise Your Glasses.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know you guys have already done tons of other promo for this. I really do appreciate you guys coming on my show to talk about this. And also thank you for including me. I cannot wait to just get into all this and talk about the contributors. But as most of our viewers will know, around here on Kiss Army Things, we always start out the show talking about the music, which is fitting because this book celebrates the music of Kiss. And it's funny because every time Joey's on the show, I just throw the script out the window and we always just go off into our own thing. But today I'm going to try and keep it on track and actually do the regular things around here, starting off, like I said, with the Kiss Spotlight, which is where we just talk about what album we've been jamming to the most or most recently. And so I'm going to go ahead and kick this off just so I don't put you guys in the hot seat. But the album that I've been jamming to most recently is Hot in the Shade. And we're coming up on the anniversary release, and I'm excited to see what we get, if we get anything from KOL. I'm sure we will. But so I've been jamming this album. This is just a 2014 re-release, so nothing special, but that's what I've been spinning recently. I love the album. I know for some folks it's one that kind of is a miss, but for me, I love it. I love Rise to It. I think is a top 10 Kiss song of mine. Hide Your Heart is one of my wife's favorite Kiss songs. I absolutely love it. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going to spotlight just because I feel like with the warm weather, Hot in the Shade is always a go-to for me. So I'm going to kick it over to Tom. I want to know, Tom, what you've been jamming to as far as Kiss music goes lately.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been listening to like some of the live albums. Alive 2 is always my go-to, but I am a massive fan, and we did an episode on it. I took kind of a beating as to where I ranked it, but I love Alive 3.
Yeah, me too.
I think that lineup is absolutely incredible. I think the band is absolutely blazing. I love the versions of some of the classics, Watching You, the way Eric Singer does the drums on that. And of course, they're touring for Revenge. So you got Unholy on there. You got a different version of I Was Made for Loving You, a more rockin' version. So yeah, live albums, but Alive 3 I've been playing a lot lately.
See, I think Alive 3 for me is probably one of my favorite Alive albums. And it really is because Eric Singer just takes that up to a notch. And Joey, didn't you just play all of Alive 3 here recently?
Yeah, I just did the whole Alive 3 set with Bruce Kulick and Todd Kearns and Joe McGinnis. We did it at Kiss Cancer Goodbye last year. Literally cover to cover, every track in order. And Tom just mentioned Watching You too. I know Neil Davis, the promoter of Kiss Cancer, just posted a clip of us doing Watching You. God, what a great song, especially the way Eric Singer does it on Alive 3. It was so much fun recreating that because I obviously especially in that revenge era. I love Eric Singer's style so much, and to try to recreate that, you know, with the man himself, Bruce Kulick, was an honor.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. All right, Zeus, what you man listen to, man?
So we do album review episodes on our show. We're up to season 6. We got one album left, and that's Destroyer. It's not a surprise or anything. People that listen to the show know. But the last one we did was Lick It Up. So what tends to happen is when you get into an album, we do a couple of these a year. So when you start to do it, you're listening to it straight, and then you're like done with it. You're like, okay, I don't have to listen to it anymore. We just did the episode. But then you're like, but I want to hear that song again. And you find yourself with a big recency bias, and you want to go back to it. I can't get enough of Lick It Up. So for me, when we did our rankings, Lick It Up stands as number 1 right now for me. We have one album to go. Whether it's still number 1 afterwards, I don't know. I think the album is so underrated. To me, it's the best of both worlds. Paul putting the band on his back and being like, we're back, we're badass, we're still fucking killing it. Gene has got some great tracks on this, I think, especially songs like Not for the Innocent. I even think like the last couple tracks, which are very big, deep cuts. You got Fits Like a Glove on the 8th Day and Dance All Over Your Face. I think it's fantastic. The addition of Vinnie Vincent and the songwriting on that album, I'm not even hitting the title track yet, and All Hell's Breaking Loose, which has one of the best riffs, I think, in the Kiss catalog. And then you've got that classic 1 in a Million, A Million to One, 1 in a Million. I'm thinking of Trickster. You mentioned Steve Brown earlier. My head is like, yeah. But A Million to One. What an album. Just seriously, straight from the beginning to the end. Kick-ass album. And unfortunately, it gets kind of lost because it's not a makeup album. But to me, it's Kiss at its best, with a third songwriter who's just as good as the other two. Just amazing album.
When we did our... Oh, go ahead.
No, go, Xander, go.
I was just going to say, when we did our anniversary episode album review for that, we did, track by track, and it was the first time we had ever, reviewed Lick It Up on the show, like just track by track. And so it forces you to kind of listen to every song and say, okay, what am I going to say? What am I noticing different? And when you look at Lick It Up, it really depends on how you want to view it. Because you can look at it as, well, it's Kiss without makeup. They're clearly falling off. They're looking at different ways to get back on track, so you can look at it that way, or you can look at it as, well, here's Kiss trying to like reinvent themselves. And Lick It Up is like the first album all over again. You know what I mean? It's Gene and Paul. You got a new drummer and a new guitar player, right? They're putting out fast, hard, heavy songs. I know the first album had a black background, but now you have Lick It Up with a white. So there's a little bit of a, contrast there. But it really just depends on how you want to look at that album, because Lick It Up, I think, if you, like Zeus says, if you just listen to it, man, all those songs start to finish, front to back, are just perfect, slamming
It's
heavy.
It's like an early Revenge. Like, we got to come up with the best. They weren't chasing trends. They weren't seeing what's out there. They came up with this album in '83 and put their best foot forward. I've said, and I don't know, I get pushback on this, that lineup with Vinnie Vincent, musically, I'm not saying it's the best lineup. Musically, that's the most talented lineup in Kiss's history. Those two guys with a third songwriter and the guitarist Vinnie Vincent, who's reined in. It ain't any of that Vinnie Vincent invasion shit. Right. It's reined in Vinnie Vincent.
Hey.
And a motivated, kick-ass Eric Carr with Michael James Jackson producing. I think musically, that's the best album they've ever done. That's the most talented lineup they've ever had.
Sounds hungry.
Yeah, I mean,
totally.
Again, not to give, I hate to give these guys props, obviously, but before we began shitting on each other, I started out as a fan of the show. I love Shout It Out Loudcast. I would listen, and I loved the album review episodes. And Lick It Up. It's so funny. The Lick It Up episode was incredible, and it's so great because it almost ties into our book, because I see so many of our reviews coming in, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or Amazon, and they're doing just that while they're reading our book. they're going back and listening to records. So anytime I listen to like one of their Shout It Out Loudcast album reviews, the first thing I do as I'm listening to it, if I'm in the car doing a long trip and I'm listening to it and they're starting to talk about whatever, 1,000,000 to 1, I pause it and I go put on 1,000,000 to 1 so I can refresh my memory on the song. And I think a lot of people are doing that while they're reading our book too. So
absolutely.
It's like that perfect companion piece, whether it's Tom and Zeus's episodes of the album reviews, or it's just throwing on one of the Kiss albums as you read one of our chapters. It's a real companion piece. It's not just, hey, let's read the story of Kiss and how did they put the makeup on and how did they come up with the name Kiss and the same old stuff we've heard a million times. It's a book by fans. We're 3 idiot fans, and it's for the fans. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to call all our contributors idiot fans too.
I'm just a Kiss tard.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, Xander.
I'm bad.
We're all such big fans that, it was such a fun thing to put together and see all the contributors' fandom and geekdom or Kiss tardom, whatever you want to call it, come out as they're talking about, Read My Body and Bang Bang You and, Dance All Over Your Face. It's fun to see people talking about those songs. So it's a cool companion piece with, one of their episodes too.
And I also think too, real quick, because I know we're still talking about albums, Xander, I think it's interesting because I think our book is a big version of like our album review episodes. But instead of just me and Zeus talking about one album, it's 100 people talking about every album.
Right.
And it ultimately, like we said, it's about the music. And we love our album review episodes. Just like those probably get the most feedback, the most interaction, because it's about the music. Everybody loves to have fun with Kiss, and you can tease them and make fun of them and poke fun and do crazy different top 10s and drafts like we've done, and we love those. But when it comes down to sitting down and, okay, let's break down Lick It Up, let's break down Harder Than Hell, that's where it's at, and I love that feeling of just being stripped down to the root of what makes us Kiss fans, and it's the music.
Yeah, I 100%. Wanted to add one quick little thing. So
you
guys mentioned 1,000,000 to 1. So I just turn it open. So, I mean, you get this line. In my opinion, one of the most underrated Kiss songs. That's Bruce's wife, Lisa.
Yeah.
Like hearing someone like that who's been around the Kiss family talking about it. Look, this poet here named Zeus comments here. When critics ridicule Kiss, this is one of the songs you can throw in their face.
Yep.
I mean, these are the kind of things that we talk about on the show. When we get Joey on, it's always fun because usually it starts off as positive and we get into something really negative. But it's organic and it just goes on its own. But it's authentic stuff. Tom said it best. We can talk about all the other stupid stuff. But in the end, we buy albums to listen to the music. And that's been the forgotten part about Kiss over the last so many years, about anniversaries, of this and that tour and the end of the road and this. It's the songs that we buy. I mean, if this band sucked, Gwar doesn't have a fucking 50th anniversary book.
No.
Right? And they do crazy, stupid shit, but nobody cares because the music sucks.
Right.
Sorry, all you Gwar fans. But this is the music, and we're breaking it down. And the stuff that you read about a shitty Kiss song, you're like, this guy's like talking about this as though this is Stairway to Heaven.
Yep.
And it's betrayed off of friggin' the
Yeah.
But it means something to somebody. And then you read it, and then you listen to the song, you're like, shit, I didn't pick up on that drum pattern. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's Paul Stanley doing the solo on that. I thought that was like small little things like that. It gives you an appreciation for the music. The forgotten aspect about Kiss is the music. And that's why we all got together to talk and write this book to celebrate the songs, not just the debauchery and the makeup and the costumes and stuff, the music.
Absolutely. Absolutely. People always think that Kiss became a band just to sell merch. It's like, no, there was music there. It was the music, the songs first, then the makeup, then the records, then the tours, then the merch. And then here we are 50 years later celebrating it all. But Joey, do you want to real quickly give your Kiss spotlight, what you've been jamming to?
Yeah, so for me, it's always stuff, that I'm working on or learning. So, I brought up Kiss Cancer Goodbye. The next Kiss Cancer Goodbye 3 is coming up in December. And this is a little, I don't think this has been announced fully yet, but
good going, Joey.
So Neil,
news.
but I'll break it here for you, Xander. So Neil Davis has recruited me to do not only I'm recreating 2 full Kiss records that weekend, and 2 of my favorite records. I'm doing the full Creatures of the Night record with the same guys we recreated Lick It Up. You guys mentioned it before last year. The Handsome Devils, we dubbed ourselves, or Neil dubbed us. Me, Todd Kearns, Gabriel, Connor, and we had Charlie Para on the quarantine guitar player on guitar, but he can't make it this year just because I think he's away and doing some tours. So we recruited Gabriel's guitarist Lewis to do it with us. So we're recreating Creatures of the Night. So I've been digging into that, like just started this week. Just, listen, I know it's 3 months out, but you'd be surprised how much work it to get, these albums. I don't just try to play the record. I want to capture that essence of that record. So, I just started digging into like Saint and Sinner and Danger today and yesterday, and holy shit,
Joey,
both of those songs are so hard.
Danger is one of my favorite songs on that album. Eric kills it. Good luck, buddy. Good luck.
And Joey,
2 of the hardest drum tracks in all of the Kiss catalog.
Okay, so Saint and Sinner, the thing I love about Saint and Sinner, and you can really hear it on the 40th anniversary box set on some of the outtakes. Saint and Sinner, what Eric is doing with the cymbals and the drums it is an incredible rhythm he is creating there, and it's one of my favorite songs because I love what he's doing on that.
The hi-hat pattern, which I just charted it out today to make sure I had it right.
It sounds so hard to play.
A fucking pain in the ass.
Yep.
And it's going to take me 2 weeks minimum to just get the feel of it down.
Yep.
But it's been such a I'm a Creatures is one of my favorite records, but diving into it as not just a listener, but trying to dissect what's going on part-wise, timing-wise, bar-wise, it's a whole new animal. Creatures is incredible. And the other record, The Breaking News, I'm doing the whole Elder as well.
Oh no!
So yeah, we're gonna do the whole entire Elder. I won't divulge who else is on that because I don't think that has been mentioned yet.
For sure.
But the Elder as well. I just started digging in to Escape from the Island, which is such a pain in the ass. And I was talking to these guys the other day, and this may sound ridiculous, but Just a Boy, drum pattern wise,
I didn't even know there was drums in that. I can't even remember the drums in that.
And here's the great part. Like before I started learning it, if you would have just quizzed me, hey, what's the drums doing in Just a Boy? I would have said the same thing, Tom. I said, is there drums in Just a Boy?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there's drums in Just a Boy, and they're a pain in the ass.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, okay, for sure. What is it? Is it a timing issue, or there's no way it's like too fast? I mean, like,
none of the stuff like part wise is super hard. Like the Saint and Sinner is actually a hard part.
That one,
the Elder stuff, it's the patterns and the structures. It's written more like symphony stuff. It's not written like a pop song. It's not written like a rock song. They're written, even something like Odyssey. The patterns and the structures of those songs are so intricate. They're not just paste and repeat. Chorus 4 times, verse 4 times, bridge, solo, out. There's a lot of movement and a lot of rearranging of these songs that it's going to take a long time to dissect. But if anyone out there is thinking of coming to Kiss Cancer Goodbye, like I said, where the fuck are you going to hear the full Elder album with some theatrics as well? There's going to be some stage stuff planned. We got some stuff planned.
You doing?
And
this is going to be awesome.
Zeus is going to be the boy in the Elder. He's gonna be naked on stage, like a cherub. And he's gonna have
a bow and arrow.
It's gonna be fucking great. He's gonna have the bow, and he's gonna shoot girls in the audience, and they get to come backstage.
And I'm gonna be Mr. Blackwell. So,
Hey, Joey, when you say about Just a Boy, I'm really honestly thinking about it. It reminds me of an orchestra, the guy who's got the cymbals, who's got to time it right
Sure.
and just hit him like he does it like twice in a song, maybe. And it's similar like that because I just think of I'm just a boy. Like that's probably the only part in the drum, and then you go away, and then you come back again when he does that.
And that's what it is, stuff like that, accents, I did Broadway stuff and accenting songs just in parts and sections is harder than playing a whole song. Because you got to keep yourself focused on where the hell you are in the song.
Yep.
And hitting these little accents, which on the Elder are super important.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome. I have one question. So, Joey, will you be using your Creatures kit, the big Eric Carr kit, do you think?
The tank?
I mean, that's so the tank will be there, but I don't think it's going to be set up on stage just because it's too big. Okay. But last year at Kiss Cancer Goodbye, that was believe it or not, that wasn't my Eric kit. My Eric kit's, if you could see it.
Yeah, it's way in the back there.
You see it back there? Yes. I didn't take that kit. So Neil's drummer actually has almost the identical kit for their tribute band. So we use that. So I think the plan is to also have that kit, full toms, which would be the Elder Creature kit. It would be ideal. Yeah.
That's going to be awesome, man. Dude, I cannot wait for that. I love this. We're almost like we're after more than 20 minutes in, and we haven't mentioned really, we have mentioned the book, but we're still talking about the music. We're still talking about Kiss, the songs. So now let's go ahead and start talking about the book, because something like this doesn't just happen overnight. So, I mean, talk about this book. How long has this been in the making for?
So, Zeus, all right, I'll start off with this because I always like to give my partner and co-host the kudos that he deserves. So this idea started about 2 years ago. It was probably right around the fall of 22.
Okay.
And I remember crystal clear the conversation that Zeus had with me. And it started because we do anytime we do a lot of interviews, start with a couple of questions, favorite Kiss song, favorite Kiss album, Kiss memory. And we started getting some really, really good information from these people. That they're telling stories and insights and opinions. And one time Zeus and I got online and we were getting ready to record an episode. And he just said, what if we did a book? What if we put all this together? And I was like, okay, where do you want to go with this? What do we want to do? And we kind of painted a very broad picture of what we wanted the book to be. We said, okay, who's another Kiss fan who would want to jump in and work as hard as we're going to work on this and be a team together? We said, let's bring Joey in here. We kind of sat together. We said, this is what we want to do. This is the format of the book. And 2 years later, we had it. Obviously, I'll let these guys kind of, fill in the blanks as to how we got to where we are. But that's kind of how the seed was planted.
That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, this is your guys' show, so talk all about it.
Yeah, so we came up with the concept. We had the idea. Just because, and again, we always have to preface this. I don't know why we do this with each other, because we're always giving jabs at each other. So when we say something nice about something, we gotta like lead up to it so it seems sincere. But when Joey comes on our show, it's just something different. It just works, and it's free and it's not just like the joking style that we have. It's the same kind of honest opinion about Kiss. You're not holding back. If you like something, you like it, or if you're pissed off about something, you're pissed off, and you state it in a fun, clear, and coherent manner. He does it about as good as anybody, and when he's on with us, the chemistry is undeniable. In addition to that, we know that he wrote his own books. And his book, as much as we joke about him, is fantastic. What's the name of that book, Joe? Go ahead, plug it.
It is called Start with the Dream, A Drummer's Journey from Rock and Roll to TV to Broadway. It is available on Amazon.com.
There you go. So I read the book. I love it. And so when we were talking about doing a book, we're like, that's two great reasons to get him involved. He has the experience, and he's great with us, and he knows Kiss and is as passionate as we are. I called him on the phone, and usually we text, and he knew something was up. I asked him, and without hesitation, he's like, I'm in. Great idea. I want to be in on this.
Yep.
And then with the three of us, we kind of came up with ideas. We all have contacts now in the music world and podcast world. We started spreading out duties. Everybody's doing something different. Joey loves my story of our spreadsheet, which he fucking is the bane of his existence.
Yes.
I have an Excel spreadsheet when I try to, I'm so OCD and ADHD that if I don't put something down, I can't follow it. I'll forget what I'm doing. Tom will tell you, hey, what are we doing today? Dude, what are you talking about? Like, I forget things constantly. So if I have to overcompensate for this, and I overcompensate by driving everybody else nuts by trying to be so organized that it just makes it worse. But anyways, we set up the spreadsheet. We have our jobs. We have our duties. And we'd focus and come back every once in a while. Hey, you're working on him. You're working on this. Okay. And then Joey would organize the book in the KDP, which is the Amazon format. Tom would be doing all the transcribing and all that. I'd be organizing all the interviews and all that. And we'd focus and get this thing done. And next thing you know, we're like, shit, we're almost there.
Yep.
And we're fortunate enough to have such great followers and fans of both our shows and our careers that we had volunteers. We had a guy who's fantastic. His name is Nige, who's been a listener to our show for years, who's a professional editor. Heard we're doing this. It's like, hey, and he sends us a message like, guys, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a professional editor. I want to edit this book for you.
Wow.
And he edited the whole book for us.
What a bro.
Yep.
Not only did he edit the book, but he had knowledge of Kiss facts.
Oh, the fact that he was a Kiss fan made it even better as an editor.
So there were times that we had stuff that were just not placed in the right place or not labeled correctly. You'd be like, over here you have this as all hell's breaking loose, but there's no Gene and Paul trade-off on songs. So I think you have this wrong. Now, if you had another editor, they would be like, oh, yeah, it's spelled correctly. It's fine.
Right.
But he was fantastic. We have a guy named Jeff Trott who designed the cover and did a lot of like art stuff for us, who's absolutely fantastic.
The cover art, the back cover, everything, just amazing work by all these people.
Another big Kiss fan who's been a friend of ours for years now. Jeff was fantastic. Worked with Joey a lot. And then finally we had a guy named James Campion who wrote Destroyer, the making I'm now
shout it out loud.
Shout out loud.
The making of Destroyer. Yep.
Destroyer. Yeah. And he gave us some good information about writing and how to do it and what's the proper way and how not to get in trouble with Kiss and things like that. Three people that just really were integral and part of this. And before you know it, we have this almost at the finish line, and and then comes the promotion, which I'll hand it over to Joey, because Joey has promoted his books and stuff better than anyone I know. And then right as we get the finish line, he comes up with like the ideas of how to get this out, where to get it out. And Joey, I'll let you take over.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. Like, people always come to me and are like, hey, this is my fourth book that I released, fourth #1 bestseller on Amazon. Everyone's always like, well, I was thinking about writing a book. How do I write a book? Or how do, I've done TV shows, I've done books, I've done, so many different things. There's no how-to guide. Right. If you want to do something, you go out, you put in the man hours, and trust me, the first book that I wrote, which was my autobiography, Start With a Dream, the man hours of how to learn how to format a book and self-publish the book and do the Amazon self-publishing route, it took hundreds of hours. And I don't mean the writing of the book. I mean figuring out how to present this book in the right way. I designed everything. I did the whole format of my first book. All of that stuff was done only by me, just because it was a labor of love. I wanted to do it. So, when people out there come to me, how'd you do this? How the hell is it a bestseller? Who the hell are you to sell a book about your life? And you just go out and do it. So when these guys came to me like, hey, we have an idea for a book, and they presented me with the idea, I was all in 2 seconds in. I love the idea. Kiss Behind the Mask is one of my favorite books of all time. And it's kind of our template for our book. But it takes it to another level. Our book You know, Kiss Behind the Mask is the four guys talking about the song's catalog and the catalogs of Kiss and talking about each song and in depth, but their perception of it, which is so different than a fan's perception, and more so like, you know, established musicians out there who are Kiss fans, who are, and Kiss is their biggest influence, seeing their perception of Let Me Know and, you know, Great Expectations and all these songs that are throwaways to Gene and Paul and Peter and Ace, but to, you know, to us Kiss fans or, you know, even well-established musicians and actors and comedians, these songs meant the world to some of them. So when we started compiling, and like Zeus said, we all had like our lanes. This is what we need you to do. This is what we need you to do. And this is what we need you to do. We all stayed in our lanes and we were all good at what we did. Like Zeus, as much as I shit on the spreadsheets, we needed those spreadsheets because without them, we don't know what the hell we're doing. Was it torture to follow? Of course it was, but we needed it. And without Zeus's, you know, meticulous, you know, way of how he did things, we couldn't get things done. And then, you know, Tom is on the other side transcribing all these crazy, you know, audio feedbacks, whether they're interviews or they're you know, voicemails we're getting.
These people are speaking in English or not. You know, we don't know what these people are saying.
And we won't mention their names right now, but a lot of them, you know, it was when you ask a Kiss fan and you think they're celebrities and you think they're all-star musicians and rock stars and big-time actors, when you ask them about Kiss songs, they tend to become little kids again.
Totally.
And they start rambling like little kids.
Yep.
So, you know, obviously the written ones were easy because we didn't edit those. We kind of took what we had, but the audio recordings or the voice recordings or the voice messages we got from people who didn't want to write stuff out, Tom had that job of trying to figure out, well, what the hell is an actual thing we can use here out of this 22-minute voicemail that I just got.
God.
Oh yeah,
we needed about a song, and some guy go like, yeah, in the 4th grade, then I bought that Halloween costume, and then I did this, and then you're like, dude, just tell me what you think of Lick It Up. What are you doing?
But you know, it was a labor of love. The three of us. Listen, at the end of the day, do we want to sell books? Of course we do. We're not morons, but we want to sell books, and we want to give this product. Just like I would love this product. I don't care if I released it or not. I would buy this book and have it in my Kiss collection and have it next to my toilet bowl. And every time I'm going to the bathroom, I'm reading what the hell? I want to hear about My Way. I want to hear about Hate from Carnival of Souls. I want to just skim through it and see these random songs. It was a pleasure to put together because we knew, as Kiss nerds ourselves, we knew everyone out there wanted a book like this, needed a book like this, and can live with this book forever. It's not a book you're going to read. Here's the story of blah, 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 and you're going to put it down because now you know the story. You're going to go back to this book like it's the dictionary, like it's an encyclopedia, and you can revisit it for years to come.
The best way, and people have already been doing this, the best way to read this book is to read it while you're listening to the music. It is and I think that's what breaks it down to it's all about the music. You might not really be a huge fan of Asylum for whatever reason, but you know, Radar for Love comes on. Okay, I want to see what these guys are saying about Radar for Love, or vice versa. I'm going to read about Radar for Love, and you can be like, wait a minute, what? I got to hear that song because I've never heard that part of that song before. And then you're like, okay, all right. And then like Joey said, it's not the story of Kiss per se, where when the book's done, you put it away. It's a reference book. It's like a dictionary written by fans, and it's written by not just fans, but it's written by songwriters, producers, entertainers, wrestlers, comedians, drummers, guitarists, like you name it. So you're getting all kinds of perspectives. I mean, we had Bruce Kulick. We were blessed enough to not only have him contribute a huge segment of the book, but he did the foreword to the book, which is right there on the cover. Yeah. So, and like Joey said too, when we asked people to contribute to this book, like Zeus says it perfectly, it's like we've asked these people to come into this secret clubhouse that they never knew existed. They're like, wait, it's okay for me to talk about Kiss and tell you how much I love Christine 16, even though people think it's a taboo song in 2024, or it's okay for me to tell you how much I love Rocket Ride. Okay, hold on. I'll send you that email tonight. And that's the kind of stuff that we would get from these people.
One other
100%.
aspect of this, which is fantastic, is you'll get a perspective from people that actually played these songs with them. So what I mean by that is you have a charisma. You have Jeremy Asbrook, Ryan Spencer Cook, who play with Ace now.
Yep.
But they played with Gene in the Gene's band.
Yep.
They played charisma with Gene on stage before.
Yep.
So now you're getting them talking about the song that they got to play. You got the Sister Dolls brothers talking about the songs off Peter's solo album when they played, and they were the band for Peter Criss's last live performances.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
did that. So you got them talking about these songs that Peter last played, and they were the last ones on stage with him.
Yeah.
So you get that perspective. You get, people like us, podcasters talking about it, who've just can't get enough of these songs. And then you've got comedians, like a guy like Russell Peters is one of the biggest worldwide comedians in the world, who can't stop gushing about Kiss when we asked him to come on and do this. You got Steve Vai, you got Joe Lynn Turner talking about songs on here. Mike Portnoy talking about I Stole Your Love. I mean, where are you going to find that?
In the songwriters, we had, I think, what?
Yes.
Was
9.
it 3 or 4 separate meetings with Desmond Child?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Holly Knight, Jean Beauvoir, like guys who wrote songs, like Jean Beauvoir performed with Kiss during the Asylum recordings, and we're getting his input, his insight onto songs that were on that album. So, I mean, you have the whole thing. Yeah, you have fans like us. Yeah, you have fellow Kiss podcasters like us, like yourself, Xander, giving your fan perspective. But then you have, like Zeus said, guys who have played these songs, guys who have written these songs. So you're getting it all. And, Zeus and I, we said it since day one. When we created Shout It Out Loudcast, we wanted to create a Kiss podcast that we would want to listen to. And when it came time for this book, we said, let's write a book that we would want to read. And that's what we did. And I think the feedback has really been overwhelming,
Yeah, no, you got 100%. And I think the best part about it is that it does represent all of the fans.
Yeah.
I think Gene recently did an interview where he was again shitting on the Elder.
Oh yeah,
and talking about my wife Daphne was, she loves the Elder. It's like one of her top.
Same here.
One of her top favorite Kiss albums. And so Gene was just going on, and she's like strangling me, wishing it was Gene. And she's like, what is wrong with him? Why can't, and I'm trying to explain, well, they didn't make any money off of it and there was no tour. She's like, I don't care. It's a masterpiece. And I'm like, no, you're right. But they're just so, I mean, I've heard Paul go on about Carnival of Souls and how he doesn't like Carnival of Souls. And again, Daphne, it's one of her, favorite Kiss albums.
Yeah,
so
but
it's funny how fans are different.
But that's the fun part, because Kiss is different. They're looking at it as a financial success.
Right.
So when The Elder and Carnival of Souls both tank, for whatever reason they tank, we're not going to get into that reason, but they immediately, oh, I hate that record. Things don't have to always be a financial success to be a great product. There's plenty of things out there that fail that are great that people just don't either recognize at the time, or maybe that wasn't promoted properly, whatever the reason behind it is. It doesn't mean it's still not a great product. And Kiss, they always have this revisionist history. I remember I grew up in the 80s. Every album that Kiss released, every single album, this is the next Destroyer.
They still did that with Sonic Boom and Monster, for God's sakes.
Torture. Guys, take it for what it is. You don't just because Destroyer was a big success for you. Don't. I remember I can see it like it was yesterday. The Crazy Nights album interviews. They used to
say here. I remember that one.
This is a cross between Destroyer and Animalizer, Creatures of the Night. No, it is not at all. It has
Crazy
nothing
Nights
to do with that. Of course. So when Kiss is they're jaded. They're different than us.
Yeah.
And when I say us, I mean all Kiss fans. And I don't mean just us. I mean, there is a whole generation of incredible musicians and rock stars and famous actors and comedians, people who are big in the industry that love Kiss for everything they did, including all those 80s records and Carnival of Souls and The Elder and all that stuff. So reading stuff in our book is so different than reading it just coming from Gene, Paul, Peter, and Ace or any of the past Kiss members. It's coming from an influential perspective. It's people who are influenced and Kiss were gods to at a time in their life, and the impact of these songs on them, not the impact of the dolls and the makeup and the Kiss movie and all this other stuff, the comic book. It's the impact of the music. And the music, I do think, and Gene just shit on the Elder, and Paul is constantly, and Bruce goes crazy, crapping on the 80s Kiss era. If you twist my arm right now, 70s or 80s Kiss, I'm going to choose 80s. I love the 70s Kiss, but if you have to cut one of the catalogs out of my life right now, take 74 to 79 out of my life, and I'll take 80 to 89. And I'll live with that.
It's I real quick, Joey or Xander.
Go ahead.
It's funny because as we get older, I am hearing a lot more of that from fans online. We see that on our social media. People love and respect and worship the original makeup years, but a lot of people are saying, you know what? Give me Lick It Up, Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade. I'll take that. And whatever, like it's amazing. And I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but I will say this, me personally, since we started Shout It Out Loudcast, I have never listened to the non-makeup albums more in that 5 to 6 year period of this podcast than I did the previous, 45 years of my life. So
That's
it's
awesome.
it's definitely increased that kind of awareness for me as a fan.
Now, there's a couple things I want to jump on.
Yeah.
Number one, in the book, as Joey was describing it, the people that have contributed, Kiss fans aren't monolithic. Okay.
Yep.
So you're not getting the same thing. And you're not getting comments like, oh, I love Crazy, Crazy Nights. That song's awesome.
Right.
Oh, Lick It Up is a great song. Love it.
Nope, we're not getting
You're
that.
getting people with different perspectives. Now, we didn't tell everybody to be positive.
No.
Right.
And you remember the pitch I gave you, and I said to you, maybe something's sentimental. Maybe it's something that's your favorite song. Maybe it's something that you just despise or a funny story. Talk about the songs. And we got a huge variety of stuff. So you're not getting the same author giving you his opinion of 260 Kiss songs. Because by the time you're into the fifth album he's describing, you know what his mindset is, and you know what he likes and what he's going to shit on and what he's going to like.
True.
Here, you can get people that love Gene songs or don't like Gene songs or think Peter's the worst thing that happened to Kiss or Peter's the most underrated thing. You get it from all over the place. So we're not monolithic, and we have different perspectives, which you'll see in the book. The other thing that's funny, and Tom and I discussed this on our episode, which will drop on Saturday, Gene's shitting on the Elder. He shits on Carnival of Souls. These albums, Kiss is really a live band. So me and Tom were joking, like, wow, Pop House, Fun House, whatever the fuck they're called, must be like, gee, thanks a lot. Since you're not fucking touring, we can't make any money off of that. All we have is your studio albums, and you just said they suck, and you need to get us live, but we're not playing live anymore.
Exactly.
What the fuck did that do for everybody? You just shit on their whole product. And that's the kind of stuff in Behind the Mask and other stuff when Joey's talking about. It's like, Jesus, Paul, just because it didn't work doesn't mean that fucking The Oath is a bad song because it's on Music from the Elder. It pisses me off. His fucking revisionist history about stuff.
It's the same
being dismissive about
just
songs that we love.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
they played it on the Kiss Cruise.
Yeah. Why are you so dismissive about stuff that you wrote? You obviously thought it was good enough to be on an album Don't act like you're above that shit. Dude, you wrote Read My Body. I don't want to hear shit from you.
That's true. That's true. I would say own it because, I mean, come on, let's face it. I mean, even though there was no tour, it's like you played it on the Kiss Cruise. It went over so well. I feel like 40 years later, it's 40 years. Yeah. I mean, that album has become so beloved that it's like, just own it. You know what I mean? If you're okay with Kiss Meets the Phantom, own this.
And it's the same thing when you see like certain actors who are now, you know, iconic or legendary and may have, you know, a less than desirable movie in their filmography when they were young, and they just they won't talk about like, oh, I'm not talking about that movie. Be like, but you did it. It was a part of your career. You don't have to say it was the greatest one, and no one's going to give you an Academy Award for it. But, you know, and the other thing too, we talk about Paul and Gene, they know that there are fans out there that love Carnival of Souls and that love The Elder. Show some respect to those fans that love that music, you know, just because like you said, just because those are the two critical dumpster fires, they think that it defines those albums, and they don't, which is a shame.
It's funny how they just give in to what the critics say. It's like, oh, the critics hate it, so we're just going to go ahead and we'll just give in to them. Be like, yeah, you're right. It's like, no, fight back. Say, you know, I wrote this song.
Yep.
I will be there for my son. That's an authentic song off an unauthentic album. It's like, come on.
Yep.
Yeah, but that song still sucks, though.
But at least it's not great.
That song.
It's not great, but at least
I like Carnival Souls. I think Paul kills that whole album. I love Gene on that.
You know, the problem with guys like Gene and Paul, and God, I love them. You know, there are idols. We know that. So I don't want to. I can shit on them and love them at the same time. That's what's great about us. So, but they have these blinders on, and they only measure success with sales and popularity, and that's not real. It doesn't. They have to. They're not. I don't want to call them not real artists, but when they're only measuring it by that, they keep themselves in this tunnel, and they can't open their minds to other things. So many of the projects I've done throughout my career, nobody even knows of because they've never gotten picked up. And guys like Gene and Paul would say they're failures, but some of the stuff that I've done over the years, I love way more than my successes.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that just because this is a great thing, this sold so much, that's better than the thing that nobody even knows of because it didn't sell.
Right.
It just means that something hit at the right time and the right nerve and the right frame of mind of people and pop culture, and you got it to the right person at the right time. That's timing is everything. So, you know, Kiss and Gene and Paul especially have these blinders on over the years, and I think it started mostly after the reunion. They weren't always like this. You know, obviously during those 80s years, they dismissed the 70s.
Yeah.
They would not talk about the makeup years. They would not talk about a reunion. It was taboo. No. We're this is the band now, and this is all we're going to talk about. And we don't want to talk about a reunion. There's so many interviews floating online where we're not going to ever do a reunion. Why would we ever do that? Why would we revisit history? This is the band now. So, you know, they change their opinion over the times of what works and what doesn't work. So you got to take what they say with a grain of salt. I don't even know if Gene believes that the Elder was shit or was his fault. I think because if the Elder sells 10 million copies, Gene considers himself a genius, right?
Yep.
It should have nothing.
The narrative will change.
It should have nothing to do with the narrative. And sales should have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and one more. I'll just kind of wrap up with this, or kind of my comments here is I think the way that Paul and Gene talk about the Elder and Carnival of Souls, the flip side of that is the way that they talk about Destroyer, because the critics love Destroyer because that's
right.
that is kind of like the flagship Kiss album. But what Paul and Gene don't understand is that there's a lot of people out there that don't like Destroyer because of all the sound effects on, Flaming Youth, because of Great Expectations, because of the ballad like Beth. But they revere that and put that on such a pedestal because the critics loved it and non-Kiss fans love it. So you're right, Joey. They're not paying attention to the fans, which, and I'll just end with this, blows me away that they did 12 years of Kiss cruises, because that is strictly for the diehards. And you know, it's so funny how you never know what you're getting with Paul or Gene and where they stand. But again, this is supposed to be positive episode, Xander. We're talking about the book. We're talking about how much we love the music.
I totally agree, because it's interesting to me as a young fan who, you know, honestly enjoys Sonic Boom and Monster just as much, if not more, than any other Kiss album. Okay. I feel like I was robbed of that third album just because the first two didn't sell as well as before. It's like you're thinking wrong. I mean, and I who am I to tell them they're thinking wrong? I'm just a fan. But I'm a fan who wants more Kiss music. You know what I mean?
We all do.
Exactly. So when I hear Monster, I'm like, I'm hearing a band that is still hungry and still capable of creating good music and writing good songs and good riffs and getting in the studio. But of course, because Monster only sold what in its first week, or, you know, fell off the charts in less than a month, it's like they measure it by success, and they're not, I don't think, willing to have an album that doesn't sell as much as Destroyer or whatever.
They've said, I mean,
so,
Paul and Gene have pretty much even said, you know, what's the point in recording new music? Like, there's no money in it or whatever. It's like, well, that's not the point, dude. Put an album.
Do it for music.
I'm not a huge fan of Sonic Boom and Monster. I actually think they're fairly weak albums that have a few high points on them. But Xander, you brought up a great point. It's the sound of a band that can still kick ass. They didn't nail it in on those albums. I don't love them, but it's a band that's kind of firing away that could have done more, but because they didn't sell, because the critics didn't really dig them, they just cut the cord.
And it's almost, you know, it's one of the reasons why we did the book. Why we did Raise Your Glasses, and we got all of these fans and people in the industry who are influenced by Kiss. We want to change that narrative. We want to change the narrative of the Bruce Kulick Kiss years weren't good. Bullshit. They might be the best years.
They might be some of the best. Especially,
and the book is a testament to that. When you see guys, Chris Jericho is the perfect example, who contributed almost more than anyone to this book, especially those 80s years.
Yep.
He is a fanatic, and with his band Quarantine shows you how much those Kiss 80s years meant to a guy like him, who's a superstar in his own right. I hate him, you know, personally, but you know, he's a superstar in his own right. And for what those 80s years meant to him, and the Bruce Kulick, Eric Carr years meant to so many of these people that are in this book, we want to change that narrative. We're always only getting the narrative of 70s Kiss, you know, the first 6 albums are what Kiss is all about, and everything after that was kind of a failure until the reunion. Bullshit.
Golly,
and, you know, there was so much stuff in between, after it, before it, upside down, sideways, left, right. Kiss, and I say this on every interview I ever do, the reason why Kiss is my favorite band is because of their diverse catalog. Totally. If I would have had, I mean, I don't even know, how many studio albums are there, Zeus?
24
solo albums.
24, right? So 24 solo albums. If I had 24 solo albums of Love Gun, which is probably my favorite Kiss record, you'd have
AC/DC.
I don't want it. I want Love Gun, but I want Unmasked. I want Crazy Nights. I want The Elder. I want Creatures of the Night. I want fucking the 4 songs on Killers.
Absolutely.
I want the diversity in the Kiss catalog, because one day I feel like listening to I Want You, and one day I feel like listening to Street Giveth and Street Taketh Away.
Yes.
You know, it's always different. So the Kiss catalog is almost like listening to 10 different bands. And that's what makes it so great. And that's what our book showcases. It showcases how all the generations of Kiss fans and all the Kiss catalog is really worshipped. It's not just those first 6 records.
Yeah, and just real quick, I was just going to say, that's why besides Kiss, 2 of my other all-time favorite bands, Rush and Metallica, extremely diverse, varied catalogs. Rush more so, obviously, than Metallica. But, you know, 70s Rush is almost unrecognizable to 80s Rush. And I like that. Some people don't like certain aspects of that. But like Zeus always says, I'd rather have it and then choose not to listen to it than have it not exist in the first place. And that's why no band does that better than Kiss.
Absolutely. I think, Joey, you nailed it when you said, you know, all about changing the narrative. one thing I was honestly very glad that you guys, and it's kind of surprised to be, you know, asked to contribute, and I'm very grateful to have been able to contribute, because I feel like the narrative with the last 20 years is that the last 20 years hasn't mattered. This Tommy and Eric lineup has been nothing but a tribute. It's been, you could literally erase the last 20 years and you would be taking nothing away from Kiss. It's like you'd be taking everything away from me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like my entire era, you know, is Psycho Circus and onward.
Yep.
And so my whole thing was being able to write entries on the songs from my era, Psycho Circus, Sonic Boom, Monster, for me was like vindication, liberation, because the narrative has been, you know, those albums were, you know, and again, Tom, I totally respect your opinion. It's fine. But I feel like, you know, saying they're weak albums with high points is different than saying they're complete shit because they're Tommy and Eric. That's the narrative I usually hear is, you know, Tommy and Eric, because, you know, and I know that's not you, so that's totally fine. But I feel like most people, you know, will usually dog those albums because they came out in the 2000s or with Tommy and Eric or whatever. And so for me, being able to write, it was almost like a diary entry, you know, where you get to be vulnerable, you get to be honest, and just, you know, this is why I like Kiss and this is why I like this song. That's kind of my approach. I do have one quick question, real quick as we're going, because I noticed that Right Here, Right Now and Samurai Sun were not included. Was there a reason for that?
So Right Here, Right Now is, if I recall correctly, I believe that was an Apple Music or a streaming only track. Zeus, Joey, was that correct?
Right. It wasn't. I don't believe. And correct me if I'm wrong, Xander. You probably know better because you love those years more than anyone.
It's not on the proper
it's
album.
Not on the. It's not on the official release, right?
Right.
Yes, it is.
I
have it.
What are you talking about? Which song?
So right here, right now.
That's on it. That's on the Japanese. You can get a Japanese version with it on it. I have one.
And it's on the international tour edition.
That's
right.
Yes,
but the original U.S. release of that record didn't have that album.
And at the time, the only way you could get it, I believe, was Apple Music or Spotify or whatever at the time. Yeah.
And trust me, obviously, there's a lot of, you know, the Kiss family catalog. Yeah. There's Samurai Sun, Right Here, Right Now, and Kiss My Ass. There's a lot of songs we didn't touch on.
Yeah.
And you know, that's we're saving it. Don't worry. Book 2 will be on its way, and we'll cover, you know, we're gonna cover the Kiss family catalog and all of the other B-sides and maybe some demos and some other stuff that, you know, Kiss has released over the years. But you know, we stuck.
That'll be a solo project for Joey. I'm not doing a book on Samurai Sun.
But I will. But
Xander, I will answer that kind of in a simpler kind of tone, especially the Samurai Sun thing. We tried to stay laser focused on the official release, the official catalog of studio albums, the 4 solo albums, the original tracks on Alive 2, the original tracks on Killers, the original tracks on Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. Those official releases, because we were afraid that if we started to splinter off and start to include Samurai Sun or Right Here, Right Now, then we would have to be like, okay, well, on this version of Psycho Circus, it has this song, and on this version of that, it has this song. So again, like Joey said,
start adding the box set then too next.
Exactly, we're right. We could
now I got to go find 5 people to talk about Lita.
And you got to find 5 songs to talk about how
Stone and you know all this.
We're going down a slippery slope.
And Zeus's favorite time traveler. I mean, who doesn't want to hear about Time Traveler?
God,
like I like to say, Paul Stanley in the Temple of Doom. That song is fantastic.
That song is just horrendous.
For sure. I just felt like those songs, because they were, you know, even though yes, it wasn't on the official album, it was on the international tour edition, because Samurai Sun was on an official release.
True.
That those songs were different than the demos in the box
you can do the same thing with Psycho Circus, right? The Ace track in your face.
True. In your face.
Yep.
Yeah, I do see that. But that wasn't a single, was it? Well, was that a single?
Love Gun second one that came out, right? Isn't Bad Reputation on one of those?
Not Bad. Reputation was on the deluxe.
But that was a demo,
what are we doing then?
Yeah. Well, that was a demo.
Yeah, but it's
on the Love Gun album.
But the box set is an official release, so how do you categorize?
Yeah,
you know what's
it's a fair
Mad Dog.
I mean,
don't hesitate.
It's a fair question, but I think we had to have some guardrails.
Yeah,
I think that's just kind of how we looked at it.
when book 2 comes out, let me know, because I want to get those 2 in there, because that's I was almost going to just send them in and be like, here they are, so put them in. But I was like,
don't get us wrong. We had
maybe there's a reason why. For sure.
We had people that were like, here's what I think of Live to Win. And like, we didn't ask him for Live to Win.
Yeah, that's a solo for sure. Yeah, for sure.
But we had some stuff that people threw out there. Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to read what people think about Samurai Son, but I absolutely love that. I was gonna say I would love to see Joey do a drum cover of that, because Eric Singer's drum track on Samurai Son, and by the way, I mean Samurai Son. I'm not talking about Yukio Samatina, the Japanese.
Yeah, of course.
I mean the actual Samurai Son. I thought that song is badass. I heard it the other day, and yeah, I love the background vocals. I was actually looking at some of the Japanese stuff that they were singing, and it was just really cool. But yes, let me know when book 2 comes out, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna review those.
You got it.
For sure. Well, I tell you what, this has been your guys' show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Is there anything else that you want to say, other than, of course, I highly encourage every Kiss fan out there to get this. There will be a link in the description. Expand your Kiss library, because there is no other Kiss book like this. We are all 4 in it, plus all the other names that we've dropped here today. But it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys, and thank you so much for including me in this book. Is there anything else you guys want to say? Because this is, like I said, your show.
Yeah, just go to Amazon.com, check out, type in Raise Your Glasses or Raise Your Glasses Kiss book. It'll pop up. We got almost 50 5-star reviews already. It's selling crazy well. We were the #1 rock book in the country the first few days of release. So people are loving it. The fan reaction and the people who are buying the book are loving this book. Check it out. It's actually on sale right now. It's even a cheaper price than our original price on Amazon. So go on Amazon. You have Amazon Prime. You could literally have it on your door tomorrow morning if you click order it now. So check it out. Raise Your Glasses book on Amazon.com. 600 pages of reviewing every Kiss song, minus Samurai Son, in the catalog, and you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Thank you guys for joining me. And I want to real quickly give a chance for you guys to plug your show, Tom and Zeus. Where can the fans, I mean, if they're watching my show, they got to be watching your show. But go ahead, man. Where can we find Shout Out Loudcast at?
Best place to go is our website, shoutoutloudcast.com. You can find all the information. You can buy the book directly from there on our landing page. There's a link right there, and you can find all about all our show. You can listen to all of our episodes, all of our social media links. Everything is there. Shoutoutloudcast.com is where you can find everything about the show.
Awesome. And then, Joey, what you want to plug? Where can we find you?
Yeah, again, I'm on social media at Joey Cassata across all platforms. I do my show, Top 5 with Joey Cassata. Every episode, every week we're doing new episodes. Just type in Top 5 with Joey Cassata on all podcast platforms or on YouTube. I'll be at Kiss Cancer Goodbye 3 in December. Crazy big lineup. I forget who Neil officially announced yet, so I don't want to announce other people just in case he didn't announce
it. Don't spoil more than you already have.
But you will be able to see the full entire Elder record and the full entire Creatures of the Night record, cover to cover. It's going to be an incredible weekend. Kiss fans, it's December 6th, 7th, and 8th, I think, in Sarasota, Florida. Check it out. All proceeds go to fighting cancer. It's going to be an epic, epic Kiss event.
Awesome. Zeus, anything else you want to say, my brother?
No, I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for contributing. You were awesome. Yes. And listen, I would say 99% of everybody that got involved in the book was just so positive and quick to getting back to me. And you turned around your stuff very fast. I thank you for being one of the first to be like, hey, we'd love to have you guys on. And this is one of the first. We're trying to spread out all these appearances, and you're one of the first ones we're on, and we're proud to do it. Thank you. We wish you continued success, and appreciate you having us on.
Absolutely. Awesome. Vander, thank you so much, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Thank you, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Real quickly as we're closing up, so I wanted to show this. I just opened this. I got this today. Howard the Duck, number 13.
Nice.
All Kiss fans will know that this is one of the first appearances Kiss made in the comics. And this
sitting
is
right here.
That's right.
Do you really? For sure. This is one that I never owned, so I just now added it to my collection. So I'm going to have to go and actually read through it. Yeah, I see Captain America right there. But yeah, I'm waiting on number 12. I was trying to have both of them today to show, but only number 13 has arrived. But
yeah, number 12 is just the last page. I think it Kiss's technically first appearance. Number 12.
Nice. Yes, and so of course most people think that it was the where's it at over here? I don't know if it's. Can you guys see it? Oh no, it's behind Phantoms right there.
I love that rack, dude. That rack is killer.
Yep.
Yeah, Amazon. I literally was like magazine rack, typed it in, and boom, there we go. There's Tongue magazine. Boom.
Nice.
Love it.
I have never bought a comic book in my life.
Really?
I have no idea what they are. Or
What?
What's in it? I don't own one. I never bought one.
Wow.
So
wow.
yeah.
This is an absolute idiot, obviously.
That's a wow.
That is in the eye of the beholder, whether you three are the idiots or I'm the idiot. Hey, who knows? But I'm just saying, I've never bought it, so I have no idea. I did know something like Kiss was in the first.
Yep.
Like they were originally in Howard the Duck.
Yep.
And then there's the one where it looks like Anton. What's his name?
Anton LaVey. He's kind of holding them in their hands.
Yeah,
like
that's the other one that I know of just by being a Kiss fan.
Yeah. That's it right there.
Yeah, there he is, the devil worshiper.
Awesome.
That's the
Love
second
Oh,
one.
whoa. Have you seen this before?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Yes.
I don't have that, but that's great.
Yep.
This one's
Nice.
super beat up.
Oh,
Well, now since I'm getting them all out, might as well go ahead and
this
show.
is yes, the
Oh,
Phantom
beautiful.
magazine.
Now,
That is-
do any of these have value? I'm curious.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not a collector.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
especially that Phantom magazine.
Yeah, the Phantom one can go for like, I mean, $2+. This one's hilarious because
Two what? Like $2, 2,000,
100.
200.
I have no idea what
The first Kiss comic in great shape, over 500, 600 in great shape. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is silly because I bought this 10 years ago, and when I bought it, I was like, okay, of course, as a Kiss collector, you got to have this if you want street cred. So I was like, I'm going to get me a blood comic, but I'm not going to pay over $150. It's stupid. I got this for $125.
Yep, nice. That's awesome.
Nowadays, this goes for $300. It's like
it was rumored that the blood never made it to the Kiss comic.
Yeah, and it was
Big Bird.
In, I can't remember what the hell it was.
Sports
used.
I have it right there. It's a Sports Illustrated that it's rumored to have gone to instead.
That's
I
right.
have that
Big Bird.
just in case that's the DNA. You know,
Nice.
And my running gag is always that all you Kiss tards with all this shit, as soon as you die, your family's gonna be like, throw all that shit out in the garbage.
That's what a positive way to go through life, to think about what happens to the stuff you love when you die.
Exactly, right?
Your family and loved ones are gonna be like, dude, get the dumpster. I'm so sick of this Kiss shit. And they don't even gonna think about that it's worth
As
money.
opposed to those 2,000 CDs behind you right now.
Those CDs aren't there for value, they're for listening. But my point is, like, you know how families are, just like your baseball card collection. People are like, fucking throw in the dump.
Yeah, but I don't care. I'll be dead. I want my stuff now that I like to enjoy.
Exactly.
I'm just saying they're not going to sense the value in it.
Like what's my family going to do when they? What the hell is this 600-page book about Kiss?
It's an original first copy.
Dad's in it. Who cares? Throw it in the trash.
Exactly. Boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dad and his weirdo friends.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Dad and his weirdo friends are glad that everybody is listening and watching. You guys are awesome. This has been a blast.
Xander, thanks so much, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, this has been awesome. So everybody listening and watching, go check out Shout Out Loudcast. Go check out Top 5 with Joey. Go check out Podcast Rock City. Wrestling with Joey Licious. All the projects that everybody's got going on. There's no shortage of Kiss fun on the internet between Shout Out Loudcast, Kiss Army things, and everything else beyond. So to you three, thank you so much. To the Kiss Army watching, please like, follow, subscribe. You can follow us on Patreon, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And we'll see you in the next episode. So thank you so much, everybody. Peace out. Rock on. Woo!